Never run away from a real fight.
All right. I think we are live. Did we do it? All right. We did it.
Yes.
I am Rachel Bloomstrom, and this is my cousin Zachary Bird, and we are cousins critiquing content. Thank you for joining us today. We're going to talk about some fun new stuff. As you can see, I am talking about Fairy Tale, and if you can guess,
I am talking about Horizon Forbidden West.
all right, wouldn't have guessed it. Wouldn't have guessed it. I mean, maybe my second guess, but still. Yeah, so those are the main things we're watching, but it's been a minute since we got up here and did this. So how have you been? What's going on with you? Any fun stuff?
I've been doing great. I've been getting out and walking every day. I lost 15 to 17 pounds in March. I walked 15 miles yesterday, which is accomplishment for me. That's pretty far for me.
Yeah,
And
that's pretty far for most people.
and due to that, yeah, as you can tell, I am very red. I am matching her hair up here, pretty on point. Like I'm just a lighter shade, and
Yeah.
same color matching my the orange on my shirt.
Yeah, it's a nice blend of colors over there.
Yes,
You're like part of a sunset.
yeah. But besides that, I've been doing great, doing good. How about you?
Awesome. Yeah, I've been doing all right. You know, actually, I hadn't really, I meant to talk about this offline. I hadn't really thought about it. But so, I have been offered my own radio show, and I've been really thinking about it because, I'm like trying to come up with a name for it. And I'm like, do I really need my own radio show? Maybe I can just keep doing the clips I'm doing and go after something else, even like a little more polished, or that might bring in more money. I don't know. I just feel like, I mean,
It,
obviously having a radio show, you're constantly producing something, but
you gotta do it on a schedule, like every week,
yeah.
and it's harder to maintain. I can imagine.
Yeah, especially like, how my brain works.
Especially when you do like a deep dive on something, you don't have enough time to prep. So unless you have a team working with you,
Yeah.
unless you do like a bi-weekly type thing, or
Yeah,
bi-
but it's a weekly show,
yeah,
and I love to do some deep dive stuff, which is why, we've been talking about here on Cousins Critiquing Content on how deep dive do we want to get into these things versus like have it light. So what we've kind of come to is that we will do, our weekly shows like this, where we're going to lightly discuss all of the things we've been watching and what we think of it. And then taking that same kind of format, and then with our overarching shows that we're doing like the full analysis, like right now, obviously we're doing Sailor Moon, that's going to be more in depth. So those take a little more time and putting together. Whereas, this we can still just
yeah,
create content and talk about these things. Plus, we always get really good reviews on our reviews. People want to know what we think of things and whether or not they're worth watching. So
yeah.
that's why we're here.
Different things like Sailor Moon, we are watching together, so we had to get our schedules linked up, and also it's a lot of content. There's
Yes.
a ton to discuss. It's 30 years old. There's been tons of impact from it. And we're also doing the Sailor Moon Crystal in the movies, which is also another layer onto what the original series. So it's been fun though. I've been enjoying the
Yeah.
deep dive into Sailor Moon.
Yeah, and never seen it before. We actually did start season 4 before we finished releasing our Infinity versus Infinity critique. And preliminary, it is weird.
I
So
think
weird.
it's very frustrating watching it because these are supposed to be veteran characters who are or who should be knowing what's going on, but they make the worst choices that I've seen so far.
Yeah. And then at one point, Sailor Moon's even like, why would I do that? Whatever. I'll just do it. Whatever. I'm a puppet.
Yeah, so far this season's been lacking compared to well, we came from a very high last season. The
Yeah,
sad
season
stuff,
3, like I loved, like it was nonstop laughter when it wasn't just kicking ass, and you're like, ooh, I didn't know they had that in them.
yeah. So far we haven't met anyone as interesting as Professor Tomoe, um, or the Witches Five. Like the villains have
Mm-mm.
been kind of like they just been like creepy pickup artists. Uh,
Yes, that's exactly what it is. And it's a lot of like weird sexual
I guess
innuendos and not
I guess
so.
it's good for like the younger audience. Like, hey, watch out for people like this. If these people will do tricks like this. Actual people would pull stunts like this to try to hook up. I guess it's good in that regard, but as an entertaining regard, it is just kind of gross and
Yeah, but thinking about it in context, especially since like one of my other projects right now, I'm working on the male supremacy movement. So it might end up making for really interesting discussion, thinking about like what that looked like right then. Because in that time period, the book that is now considered basically the Bible of the men's rights activists came out in 1993. So um, I'm going to want to look into that a little bit more and see what it looks like kind of on the social impact scale versus like reactionary. I'm interested. Yeah.
yeah, it'd be interesting to see where it goes from here. But so far, yeah, I don't care much for Pegasus either.
And I
I
got
don't.
too much Chibi Uso.
Yeah, she's taking a lot of the attention this season, unnecessarily again because I don't really like her this season at all.
No, no. And it's gotten even weirder and grosser between her and Usagi and Maru. Like even more muffled, weird
Yeah.
lines. I don't know. Yeah. I missed season 3 already.
I'm sure we'll see some of them back soon.
Yeah.
I hope we
Yeah.
do.
Seeing some of them back soon. One Piece. I
One Piece
I can't
coming
wait to
back,
see some of them back soon.
coming back next Saturday. Uh,
Yes.
I will
And
be.
I have agreed. I am going to catch up on the manga because this is too gut wrenching. And apparently, some super major thing has flipped the whole series on its head. And I can't even imagine, like, I'm not even like trying to guess, imagine, honestly. Just Zach has been rocked to the core.
Yeah, I can't really discuss anything with her about it because it's so uh, series changing. But it is. I've been loving it. I've been so hyped. I've been laughing so much reading it recently. It's been great. It's probably the funnest I've had with the series in a little while. Probably since like the Snake Man when we saw Snake Man for the first time versus
Um,
Katakuri.
when they first get to Katakuri.
When Luffy fought Katakuri, he went Snake Man after he knocked out Pudding and not Pudding, Flambe, his the sister Flambe, the one with the big bottom, who was like shooting darts at them. Like
Vaguely, I mean, I remember his badass fight with Katakuri.
yeah, and then she interfered and shot a dart at his leg, and he had kind of collapsed and got stabbed in the stomach by Katakuri. Then Katakuri like knocked got mad at Flampe and
Yeah.
ripped off his scarf, and they saw his face for the first time.
Yes.
Like then after they knocked him out with the Conqueror's Hockey, Luffy went Snake Man.
Oh, yes, 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 yes. Okay. Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
it's hyper
excited.
than it. It's
Now
hyper
I
than
want to
it.
go back and watch that scene again too.
It's dope. I love that scene, especially
Yeah.
that music. Oh, the music for that scene, like oh, Yeah, it was so funny, but it sounded like it's just like opera music.
That's something that we hadn't talked too much about on Sailor Moon too, is the music. Um, like I guess we should pay more attention to the music, and so I'm sure you do better than I do, because a lot of times, like especially One Piece, there's so many spoilers in their openers. Like I just don't watch them.
Yeah, you talking about like, the opening credits? Yeah, like the previous opening credit, it was actually had a spoiler for the manga readers for something that didn't happen in the manga yet. So I was like,
Oh shit.
yeah. So they don't care. Like, and so when we saw it, it was a strongly hinted at theory, but like the opening pretty much confirmed it when we saw it. So that was like they don't care as much about the spoilers in their openings. Sailor Man, there's not really a lot of spoilers. We see the some
Yeah.
characters from the season, like, and there's
You
no
know,
concept
though,
of it.
I hated the Crystal opening with her looking all sad in the beginning. Like, that's not the Sailor Moon I want to think of. I want to think of the powerful Sailor Moon just like not stopping when it comes to her
Spinning
friends.
around, twirling her
Yes.
wand. Yeah.
I don't know, getting excited over food.
Yeah,
I mean,
maybe
has anybody ever done any like fan art of shipping her and Luffy? I'm
I
sure.
don't think so. There's
What, really? Like them just going to
no,
like a dinner date together? I feel like that would
no. Uh, there's a certain art of her and Goku, but that's better left unmentioned.
Oh, why? You mentioned
Because
it now.
it's very adult. Uh,
Oh,
yeah, this is
oh,
yeah, it's very adult content.
oh.
Yeah.
Isn't he's the one who kind of looks like a hedgehog, right?
Goku. I mean, kind of. He's got a spiky
Yeah, he's
hair.
always like curly and this spiky hair all down his back.
Got like three spikes this way, some spikes that way. Yeah, it's I guess kind of hedgehog-ish. If
Yeah,
you compare him to Sonic, yeah, I guess you say that.
yeah, he's very beast looking.
I guess kind of when he turns into a giant monkey
I mean,
form.
that's just how I picture him, and this
Oh,
like crouched down, just like his haunches up, and you know,
he's already hunched down that much. He's usually pretty like standing
like his
straight.
hand on the ground, like he's just been,
No,
I don't know.
that's like Goku doesn't really do the hand on the ground. He's the
Well, that's how I picture him. Or
okay.
no, no, it's the two clenched fists and
Like
the
it's more like this.
like
He lifts the
everything's,
power
yeah,
up. There's like
yeah,
this.
whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That looks like a much more painful like power up than Sailor Moon's. I would much rather get ready like Sailor Moon, like listen to some music, doing
His is
some ribbon
more.
dancing.
Yeah, his is more triggered by like righteous anger. To
Oh,
turn
like
to,
Natsu.
huh? Yeah. So like it has to be a certain type of
Like
anger. It can't just be like
that's
selfish. Yeah. It has to be like righteous anger for him to make that transformation to Super Saiyan.
got it.
But Dragon Ball is a fun series if you have never actually gone and watched it.
I may. I feel like the art doesn't really appeal to me all that much.
People say the same thing about One Piece, but people then they start watching it and it's One Piece, so they start loving it.
Yeah, but One Piece fans are much more tolerable than Dragon Ball Z fans.
Yeah, they are well because they've been fans for 30 years. They've just been like obnoxious about it since then. Like Goku can't blah blah blah. He can't be Goku. Like I don't care if he can be Goku. That's not the point of the character to be Goku. He's not fighting Goku. He's fighting this guy.
Yeah, well,
So
Usagi could beat him, so
yeah. Usagi Soul is your favorite verse.
huh?
Uh, Usagi Solo is your favorite verse,
What do you mean?
like for your favorite universe, your favorite like anime verse. Your
Oh,
she's
is that
Solo.
one mine?
No, no, that's a joke that goes on. Like
Oh,
Usagi, Sailor Moon can solo your entire verse. or their times where,
Oh yeah, so she could go into any universe and just like handle shit. And
yeah, pretty much. Like I don't think there's many people who can stand up to her power wise.
yeah, well, she's basically a god.
She is, which makes it weird that she prays to herself.
Yes, in the future. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was weird. It's
Hey,
weird.
peace me. I need power.
Me, share my power with me. What?
Yeah. So weird.
Yeah. Anyways, and just before we get into the shows, just because we should sometimes talk about anything pop news related, we'll do better about bringing more of it in. Neither one of us are like huge pop news followers, but there is stuff that is relevant. And Will Smith slapping Chris Rock. We'll just go ahead and do that one real quick. What are your thoughts?
My thoughts are I kind of don't care anymore. Like that's pretty much what it is. Like Will Smith is pretty much he's apologized. He's getting it worse than anyone right now. Like
Yeah.
he's been banned from the Oscars for the Academy for 10 years, so he can still win or anything.
Yeah, he just doesn't have to go to the dinner parties. So
Yeah,
that's
which
like the best
who
part.
cares? Yeah, like oh, I win. I don't have to go to the award show. Like what's the punishment?
I could still go to all the after parties.
Okay. And there's a lot of public scrutiny against him. Like, you know what? I don't care anymore. It's like it's not that big of a deal. There's worse things that have happened at the Oscars.
Yes.
And
that's why a lot of people are drawing, the racist aspect to it, because like it's not the worst thing that's ever happened. And this wasn't like a general just sentiment. This was something that to me seems very personal between these people. Like
yeah,
everybody trying to like make this into something bigger than it isn't. And oh, well, what about me, Amy Schumer? How doesn't anybody want to know how I feel?
no one cares
No,
about your age.
nobody cares. Like you can feel all your things, but like we don't need to hear about it. Everybody's feeling things and everybody's talking about it.
Yeah, there was a joke that they stopped. Like Amy Schumer was going to tell that they stopped. It's like, no, that's too much. It was an Alec Baldwin gun joke, and it's like it's not very funny. Someone died during that event. You shouldn't probably joke, but they stopped her before she told a joke. It's like, that's not a good joke. That's not even
maybe
funny.
Amy Schumer should be a little afraid that somebody might step on stage and slap her. I don't know. Yeah. Like, I'm just kidding. I don't mean that.
No,
I don't mean that. I just mean a little bit of fear before some of these people just say horrendous things.
Shit. Like, I understand, like, you're a comedian, you're meant to say, like, out there stuff.
Right. But, like, it has to be funny. If you're going to make a trip out there into some personal territory, like I think the biggest thing is like a lot of people don't realize that. So Chris Rock has a history with the Smiths and not a positive one recently. Like obviously Will Smith has known Chris Rock for like 30 years, so they know each other and they're in the circle. And
have they ever worked together?
Yeah, he was on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, I think. And I'm sure they've worked, I don't know, but they are in the same circles and whatever. Like he does know them pretty well. So there's no doubt in my mind that he was aware of her autoimmune disorder that results in hair loss. It's not being bald. That is the disability. It's a whole autoimmune disease that comes along with it. And that is a side effect. Also he made a documentary about Black women's hair when his daughter came to him and said, how come I don't have good hair? And knows how sensitive the subject is about Black women's hair and whatnot. And G.I. Jane was 25 years old. Some people were like, yeah, well, that's when she was cheating on her husband for Ashton Kutcher. So he was maybe referencing that as well. Because it was an unscripted joke. He just came off the top, which it's a lazy joke at best. Like pretend he didn't know any of that stuff. It's not a good joke. It's not even
it's very old reference. Like in like who like gee, I haven't thought about that movie in 20 years.
25. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It wasn't a good joke. I think they should have settled this privately, but they didn't.
yes. Absolutely, Will Smith is wrong for getting up and slapping him. I think, though, to me, what I saw was like a triggered response to Jada's reaction.
Yeah, because he laughed at first. Because when we saw he made the joke, we saw they panned to them. Will was laughing, Jada was serious.
Yeah.
Then like 15 seconds later, that's when Will popped up there.
Or I mean, maybe even less time than that.
Yeah,
like he got one glimpse, and then it was just like game on. And I feel like that's basically what all of his characters have asked him to be like. And when you do that for your entire life career, sometimes it can be hard to separate how you truly feel versus how like a very similar type character he's played over and over does.
Yeah.
I think there's also something to be said about that. Basically, what I'm saying is I'm seeing mental health issues from Will Smith, and more than needing to be condemned, I think he needs to get help.
I do as well. And I don't know. I can't. There's been a lot of talk about Jada and Will's relationship, and I can't discuss anything about that. I don't know their relationship.
Yeah.
I don't care about the relationship. Like that's between them. Like I don't know why y'all dragging this stuff into the like. Why do people care so much about these celebrities' relationships with each other? I don't. It's
yeah,
whatever.
I don't know. It is a little weird, but also like, so I did kind of want to understand like, why is this such a huge reaction from so many people? So I went and watched a few of the clips, like from the video with the entanglement incident, and like, there's some weird stuff. Like they are actively putting it all out there.
They are.
So it's weird. It's weird.
It's
I don't want to comment too much on it because I don't know enough.
Yeah. I said I don't know relationship, but it seems weird from my point of view, but I'm not the one in that relationship. If they're happy with each other, which I mean they've been together for 20 something years now.
Yeah.
It's been tumultuous, it seems like.
Yeah. I mean, their son Jaden had even considered emancipation when he was 15.
Yeah, it's a. I like I said, I don't know what's going on in their household. I can't say. I can't.
Yeah, I can't speak clearly to that either. But there does clearly seem to be, a tumultuous lifestyle, as you mentioned, and honestly, I hope maybe this is like a wake-up call to actually get a counselor involved, because it seems like they've just gone for brutal honesty with each other.
A little bit too brutal sometimes.
Yes. It has been she's been very brutal.
Yeah.
When I went and watched that interview that people were talking about, it was brutal.
Yeah, that's a lot of people were mad at her for like they feel like that she's been disrespectful and to him, which I guess you could see it that way. It kind of looks that way sometimes.
Yeah, it does. But
if he doesn't feel
it's complicated.
Yeah, if he doesn't feel disrespected, then why are anyone else commenting on it? But I guess sometimes you as the person in the relationship sometimes don't recognize things.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because I'm doing more research for my series, The Enemy is Woman, into the Manosphere, and like listening to more and more of this stuff, I'm just like, oh my God, these are things that I have definitely heard or experienced, all as like on the receiving end of an apparent like whole thing. Like, and it seems new and interesting and not so bad when you like first see it, but then when you get out of it and you have all this knowledge and you can look back at this moment, you're like, oh, that's terrible. That is really, but it's hard to do that, right? When you're like in that moment, it's just, it's all reaction.
So you don't know what you're in until you're out of it.
Yeah. I mean, some people do. I guess those are people with experience, recognizing what situation you're in. That is definitely, as I definitely something I've grown into, being much better at it.
I have been trying to be more self-aware about like situations like this is iffy.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause like when we're younger, like could be like, this place is iffy, but there's free weed. So
there's always a price.
I mean, it seems chill enough. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Anyways.
I don't really have anything else to say about the Will Smith stuff. I don't think there's really much anything else to say about it.
Yeah, I don't either. I think that Will's dealt with enough fallout, especially in comparison with others.
I don't think he needs any more punishment. I don't think he needs to return his Oscar or anything like that. I feel bad for like anyone who like won an award after that, because Tony got overshadowed by that event. But also I wouldn't have cared about the Oscars if I didn't know about that. Like, okay, oh, they won Best Picture, a movie I didn't see. Okay.
Oh yeah, we were watching something, and then as we're getting off, like I had that blur pop up, and I'm like, oh, Will Smith slapped Chris Rock, and you're like, all right, well, have a good night. Talk to you later.
Yeah. Then it became then it just turned like a fallout over Twitter. It's like, that's an interesting event, something that happens on live TV. Yeah, but it's not any worse than like someone fighting at a game or something. Actually, it's less bad than that. But I guess in game,
I think some of it has to do with like it's been brought up like, here are some white guys who have gotten fights at award shows and nobody batted an eye. And they're like, somebody was like, well, I expect those people to be trash. I don't expect Will Smith to be trash, which is admitting a double standard. Though I also don't expect Will Smith to be trash. And, there is some racism going on in the reporting of this as well,
Yeah, so, I expect Ezra Miller to be trash. He plays the Flash from the movies. I expect him to be trash because there's been talks about replacing him in a row after he attacked somebody at a karaoke bar.
What?
Yeah.
What happened? Tell me about this.
Well, he was drunk and he didn't like what they were singing, so he attacked them. This is not his first time attacking somebody, though.
What?
Yeah, he's. Oh, excuse me. He's like, it's they. It's I'm been misgendering them.
Wait, he was misgendering them.
I was misgendering him or them. I was misgendering them. It's Ezra is they them. That's my mistake. I just forgot for a second. But my apologies. But he was at a karaoke bar and he was, excuse me, I keep on saying he, I'm bad. They were drunk. And they heard the people on stage singing their song. I guess they didn't like that. And
do you know what the song was?
I don't know what the song was. But
if you could imagine what song it was, what song would you make it?
What's New, Pussycat?
Well, nobody will ever do that better than John Mulaney.
Yeah, I was just thinking of John Mulaney's kid. Like, if someone was singing that song, I might attack them too.
It's a rough one.
But there's been talks about like they like Warner Brothers had an emergency meeting like discussing on what to do because of the situation. So there's been talks about recasting
Oh,
Ezra. Some people have suggested, hey, Grant Gustin's right there. He's a pretty good Flash. Uh,
yes,
People love him.
we do.
Yeah, I was
Why
hoping
wouldn't they?
he would have been the big screen Flash originally, because Ezra got casted like 2 months after Grant got the TV show. Uh, so it's
Yeah, but he's too cool.
who Ezra is he though? Like,
Maybe
are they though? Are they
I
though?
think I only remember seeing like a trailer with him, and I was like, that guy seems too cool.
They are right. They're all right.
Oh well, I was looking at them in character.
Yeah, I don't know anything besides them from Perks of Being a Wallflower.
Mm,
The for what is that? The Harry Potter Fantastic Beast films, and they were.
I haven't seen any of those.
You're not missing much. The second one was pretty much like, oh, Grindelwald's trying to stop Nazis. We need to stop them. I didn't watch it. That's from where I heard the summary. He's like, oh, he's trying to stop like the Muggles from entering a huge conflict uh, by taking over them. I
That's
haven't
one
watched.
way to do it, I guess.
Yeah, like conquest by conquest, stopping conquest by conquering.
Preemptive conquest.
Yes.
That's like a Dick Cheney tactic.
Yeah. And I don't know. I guess I need to go watch the second one. I was kind of on the first one. It was all right, and I don't know if I want to watch the third one because they got rid of Johnny Depp and because of all the Amber Heard stuff.
Yeah, but wasn't he on the receiving end?
He
And
was
is her name Amber Heard or Head?
Amber Heard, Amber Head, one of those. I think it might be Amber Heard. Yeah, you're right. But he was on the receiving end, but he
No.
lost a liability lawsuit. So there's been a lot of back and forth with that case.
I feel really bad for him. Like that's what happens. Victims get re-victimized during all of these processes.
Yeah. There's he's had
There was like I think there was this one clip I listened to where it was like a pre-recording and he was or like she was like hitting him in the moment and like laughing and she's smirking listening to it like while gaslighting him. And I was like,
she
and
threw a
she's just
phone
listening to it like
right at his face.
ha 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 ha. That was funny. Remember when I did that?
Yeah. Yeah, no one's on her side, but yet she's still getting work. Of all the like the fan.
Wait, where is she getting work on?
She's in Aquaman 2. She's going to be in Aquaman 2 with Jason Momoa.
They're gonna let her be in Aquaman 2, but
yeah, she was in Aquaman. She was in Aquaman 1. And there was a lot of backlash.
yeah, she was terrible. She's
Yeah.
not even good.
She isn't. And I'm not looking forward to seeing her in Aquaman 2. I'm probably not going to see Aquaman 2 because of her. Yeah, she's still getting work.
Yeah, no. That's so tough though, because Jason Momoa though.
Yes, but he's in other things though.
He is in other things.
He is in a lot of other things.
And the first one just wasn't a very good movie.
It was average. I would say that. It was a very average film.
Yeah.
It's the highest grossing DC film.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is surprising.
It was a very average film though. And I don't know. I'm not looking forward to Aquaman 2.
Mm-mm.
I mean, Jason Momoa's he's got C on Apple TV. He's got other shows that shows and movies he's working on.
I wish he would refuse to work with her.
I think he said he's going to sue her if like they if it performs badly because of backlash from her. They should have replaced her in like pre-production. Like they got rid of Johnny Depp. Warner Bros. Fired Johnny Depp pretty quickly after all this stuff came out. Um, and he got kicked off of the Pirates franchise, which is his
So what
franchise.
year did that all start? 2018? Is that when this all started?
I want to say 2016. It's been like 6 years since I think the beginning of it, but I can check real quick. But yeah, he's been pretty much having trouble since everything since then. Like Pirates franchise, he's been pretty much fired from the Fantastic Beasts franchise.
I don't understand. I thought maybe I don't know enough about it. What did he do that was so wrong?
Well, she blamed him at first. Like she blamed him, even though all the evidence was pointing at her. So she was saying that he abused her, and
Even though it's been straightened out, they're still not.
yeah. Okay. So it's like
Crazy.
2017, 2018. So it's been 5 years.
Got it.
Okay.
Anyways,
Yeah. Besides this, yeah, there's really much else to say about it. It's still an ongoing situation between them. Like hopefully Johnny gets work again. I'm sure he will. He's
yeah.
very
Yeah,
beloved.
well, I think he's continued to work with Tim Burton, I'm sure. But
Yeah.
that also gets a lot of criticism since he doesn't really have any Black people in his movies.
Yeah, Tim
So.
Burton. And Tim Burton is kind of like in the twilight of his career.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the last movie he came out with that I wanted to see.
Yeah.
Big Fish. That was
Man.
15 years ago.
And that was his? I didn't
Big
realize
Fish.
that. It was a
Yeah.
great movie.
I love
Oh
Big
man. It was great.
It was. It was
That's
surprising
like
that
at least 10 years old, right?
no, it came out when I was in the army, so it was like 16 years maybe.
Yeah. Great movie.
It is.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, Sweeney Todd came out after that.
It did. Sweeney Todd, I have feelings about Sweeney Todd. I mean, it's fun. It's not my favorite, like Johnny Depp, Tim Burton film.
Mm-mm. I haven't seen them all. I still haven't seen the new Willy Wonka because I was very upset to think about anybody other than
Gene Wilder.
yes.
Yes. R.I.P.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, those are like 10 years old now already. At least one of them is at least 10 years old.
Yeah, I don't know. But anyways, let's get to the stuff we did watch this week.
Okay.
All right. So do you want to start with Reacher?
Sure. So I've been watching Reacher, which is based off of the character Jack Reacher from the Lincoln Child novels, which are a very popular series of novels. There was two movie series with it with Tom Cruise, who was a lot of people believe were miscast because Jack Reacher is a jacked, tall dude, and
Yeah, like the part of it, like the whole thing is his just general presence makes other people uneasy because he's such a giant dude. Like
Tom Cruise is 5'7". Like he's not intimidating anybody.
no, he's not. There's no imposingness about any. He blends in.
But in this show, he is a beast. He's like 6'4", 300 pounds of pure muscle. People look at him. I'm like, you know what? I don't want to mess with that dude. Like the first time we see him, he's arriving at a diner. He sees this dude like harassing his girlfriend, or not Jack's girlfriend, but like that dude's girlfriend. And he looks over at them and like, dude's like, you got a problem? Then he actually looks at Reacher. It's like, you know what? It's like, I'm sorry, dude. I didn't mean that. I'm just having a bad day. Then he runs away pretty much after that. But it's been a fun series so far. I would say it's a good like murder conspiracy mystery.
Oh,
Uh, so like he arrives in this town called Margraves, Georgia. And coincidentally, there was a murder happening like the night before that he arrived. Like he
I'm going to
got
share the
off,
screen real quick.
okay.
So that's
That's
him.
him.
So
That's
yeah,
him. Yeah.
go ahead and keep talking. I'll just scroll through.
You keep on looking at him. Okay.
No, scroll.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just scrolling through the photos while you go ahead and.
Okay. So yeah, he arrives in this town the same night a murder happens, and they arrest him because they believe he's involved because he's an outsider, and they saw him walking down the road the same time or same
And
walking down
he's
the same.
very conspicuous.
Yeah, he's a 6'5", like he's almost so he people notice him. So they arrest him and because they think he's tied to these murders. Um, so it's pretty much first episode is him like proving he's innocent and then him getting involved in the case for reasons I can't say because they're spoilerish, but
Reasons.
he gets involved in the case for personal reasons, and he works on solving this conspiracy. So we learn about him and his background. Like he has a family. His brother Joe. Maybe get flashbacks
Oh,
to
that's
early.
blood.
Yes, he does end up in prison at one point. That first episode.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. Is this based on one book specifically?
I couldn't tell you because I've never read any of the books.
That sounds kind of familiar, but I can't tell if it's like a couple of different books.
It might be a mixture of a few things.
Yeah.
I'm sure they want to keep it. They want to when you adapt something, you usually borrow stuff from the series, but also change it a little bit so it's not like a one for one adaptation, which I think is a better way to do adaptation instead of doing a one for one. If I want to watch a one for one thing, I'll just watch the original thing.
Mm-hmm.
So changing it up a little bit, put your own spin on things, that's preferable. But the characters have been fun. There's Roscoe, who's this badass like policewoman, takes no shit. She can't be intimidated. She ends up being Jack's love interest. Then we got Finlay, who is like the uppity detective from out of town. He's kind of a prick at the beginning. I believe he does a lot of stuff that would be considered off the books and legal, like trying to get Jack to work the case when he doesn't want to at first, and coercing him into doing it. Like, oh, if you don't want to do it, I'll put you back in jail. I was like, that sounds illegal. uh,
Yeah.
so he's trying to prove himself. He comes from Boston. He went to Harvard. Um, and he's pretty much an outsider in the town. He doesn't really curse that often. Like he says, it's a sign of weak character and weak mind. And Jack is like, that's fucking bullshit.
Wait, what is a weak character and weak mind?
Cursing.
Oh,
Yeah, he's like, oh,
yeah.
that's bullshit.
Let's.
That's bullshit. Like whatever. So he's kind of like the guy with a stick up his ass. Obviously he's a straight man, but Jack's also kind of the straight man because there is really no comedy. There's really no
like there's, I guess maybe the absurdity of his size sometimes.
his appetite's pretty funny. Like he has like a Luffy type appetite. Like he's always eating. Like he's eating junk food all the time. He's always hungry. I guess being that big, you burn a lot of calories.
Yeah. But still eat healthy ish.
Yeah, but he doesn't, which is part of the charm. But it's fun. There's a deep conspiracy going through on. Like it goes from the city level to like national level. They're having to deal with like counterfeiting and
I have read this book.
yeah,
What's this one called? Killing Field?
it's
No.
just called. Well, I mean, someone did die in the field.
Hmm.
So you might be the
Maybe.
counterfeit.
I don't know. I only read a couple of them like 15 years ago or something, 20 years ago.
But I am on episode 7. So far, it's been pretty solid. I really enjoyed it, and I would recommend it to other people. I would say Jack is a interesting character. Like sometimes he seems a little bit too Stonewall. Like he's set these walls for himself, and you don't see really through them. Like he's pretty much just concrete. Like when something distressing happens, he pretty much try to keeps it internal. Sometimes you like see signs of it like leaking through, especially the emotion that you probably see most from him is anger.
Yeah.
Uh, that's like one he has the least amount of control over. But I would recommend the series though. It's fun.
I would say that probably sounds like an environment you grew up in, like anger being the only one you're allowed to express. So then you just like lean extra into it.
Well, he was raised in a military background. His dad was a major. They moved around a lot. It was pretty much him and his brother. They seemed like a pretty good family, but they had like an incident when they were young when they had this run with this bully, and I don't want to discuss too much of it
Yeah.
because it happened in the series and it's spoiler territory.
Got it.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. Sounds good.
Yes.
You want to give it a rating? We haven't come up with our rating system yet.
I haven't finished it yet, but so far I would give it a pretty good out of fantastic.
All right. So that sounds like a 6.5.
I'll say it's like 7.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I have been watching Fairy Tale, and did I just start season 4 or season 3? I was gonna try to just talk about the first 2, and then I wanted to keep going. I think I'm on season 3 because it's not.
What arc is that?
I'm gonna pull it up. I should have been readier than that.
When people discuss these shonen series, they talk more about the arcs than the actual seasons. That keeps it helps to keep better or where you're at, like General Island.
Oh, right. Okay, but I'm in season 4. So, and that is just after not the Gajal arc. Season, how did this end up again? Oh yeah, this the Edios arc, or what is it
The
called?
alternate Earth. So
yeah, the other planet, the other Earth.
Okay, that was a good arc.
Edalus. Yeah. So that was it was pretty good arc. I don't know if I liked it the best. I thought the first season was really good. But so in this one, they go through this portal. It's called like an anima or whatever. And they get sucked into this like alternate world where magic is finite. And I believe it's pretty clear, like stand in for like oil and natural gas here on Earth. And that look at all these wonderful things we can make from it. we don't ever want to give it up. So we're going to start mining other places. And so they have been mining Earth for magic, and they will take like actual whole human beings or whatever, and it turns them in, and they turn them into these like crystals that will absorb all the energy and that they can use to power basically their whole society. So Soylent Green is people. And man, I mean, when you like take a step back and really kind of look at it from that perspective, I think they did a really good job of showing a lot of these motivations, even down to like the microscopic level, and how people slowly were like, yeah, we need more and more, and how they became corrupted. It's really cool. So yeah, so that's the story arc. They get sucked into this place, Aeolus. And of course, there is a mad king there who has sucked them there. He's the one who wants all the magic, but they're not the only group of people there. There are also the Exceeds, which are like these little flying guys right here. They were magic cat people in that world as well. And they were the only ones who had internal magic in them, and everything else was external, and you had to, you know, buy it and put it in weapons and whatnot, which was really weird for me, like especially when we get Urza with internal power fighting Urza with just like a really good sword. Like, to me, that was such a joke. But
it was kind of cool to see too, because
yeah, it was, but the fact that she fought back as hard, like, just it just didn't seem likely to me. But yeah, so oh yeah, the other Earth it's an alternate Earth, and it has all the same people. They're just different. You know, they're not opposites, they're not the same, just kind of different. And that's when we see Lysana again. And I guess I'm going to speak in spoilers. This is not a new show.
You can't speak about the series without speaking in spoilers. Like, especially that arc you're talking about right now, like there's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah. Yeah. So it turns out Lysana had actually disappeared because she'd been pulled in by the anima 2 seasons earlier, and just so happened that her brother and sister in the other universe had just lost her. So she just pretended to be her in the other universe and lived there with them. Because, you know, she didn't know how she got there, how she was going to get back. And she just moved on with life. And now all of a sudden, turns out, no, this is the Earth that she's from. And it was real weird. But we don't get to see that until season 4 starts, really.
It is kind of weird, though.
Yeah. Especially like her, like being weird about not wanting to go back. And they're like, but we always knew.
Some of the, like, I like Fairy Tail, but it's not high on my list of series that I'm going to like rewatch or spend a lot of time with. I actually stopped the last arc because I was just like, I was reading it.
Which one?
You're nowhere near it right now. But it was near the last arc of the arc before the last one. That I was like, I was reading it, and it's like, I'm not enjoying this anymore, and I just kind of stopped. And
yeah.
I mean, you're not there yet. There's a lot of good stuff like yet ahead of you, but there's just some stuff like near the end where I'm just like, I just wasn't digging it. I may go back and finish it because it's been 10 years, I think, since I've last picked it up. Might not be that long. I forget when the series ended. But yeah. So what characters have you been liking so far in the series?
Oh yeah, we'll get to characters. Well, I do love the throwback that Urza here has her little makeup transformation a la Sailor Moon style. I thought that was kind of cute. I like Urza a lot. You know, she's just generally badass and likable, and also like tragic, super tragic character.
Her and
Um,
Jalil.
huh?
Her and was it Jalil?
Jalal.
Jalal, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so she was raised like a slave. If she had been kidnapped from her home, and she and all these people were raised as slaves to build this magic tower for evil people. And she got to escape, but she was the only one, because yeah, I mean, that's that whole arc, which I haven't talked about, so I guess I could, but um that was first season, but not the first arc. The first season seemed to have multiple arcs, right?
Yeah, yeah, because there's like you get your opening arc meeting the characters, then
Yeah.
going through, then like the father, Lucy's father trying to get her back, and all that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff in that first season. And most seasons have multiple arcs.
Yeah. This show definitely seen, especially their first season, definitely packed a lot in it. Um, but yeah, so Urza, she's dope. Natsu is obviously fun. You know, I was thinking to myself, like, who is the main character? And um because I couldn't decide between Lucy and Natsu. And that's when I came across this, like, somebody during their like chef's kiss perfect ending would be that like Lucy puts the book away, like finishes reading it to their kid. And it's like the book she's written about the story of her and Natsu's life. And
Yeah.
so they are the main characters. That's why she's narrating the story.
It's mostly from her perspective, but a
Yeah.
lot of it is centered around Natsu.
Yeah. Yeah. It's mostly Natsu's, yeah, story. So that sounds kind of neat. That would be kind of cool. And, you know, I like Lucy. I feel bad. This show is one of the shows that has like the absolute shamelessness of making,
For the fan service.
like you're talking about like the big old boobs moving around for no reason because she shook her head. Like shaking your head makes your whole boob. Yeah.
This series is notorious for that with their characters.
Yeah. I mean, they do it a little bit with the guys, but nothing like they do with the women characters. And
I mean, Bray gets naked. That's about about it.
Well, and Natsu walks around sometimes with just his scarf on.
His vest shirt with his open chest.
Yeah.
Very, very Luffy-esque.
Yeah. But yeah, sometimes it makes me just want to turn it off when it gets too gratuitous, especially when it comes to Lucy.
It's very egregious with the fan service.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's not even, you know, and like, I don't know. It's so much that it makes the show less likable to me. Because like I can deal with a certain level of it, especially if it's being done to both sides. Like if you have a balanced sexualizing of characters, fine. Oh, but I did just learn this thing today that, did you know the age of consent in Japan is 13?
Yes.
I didn't know that, but that says a lot about why a lot of these stars are starting at the end of junior high, right when they're becoming legally able to consent. And I was like, all right, that's exactly what a lot of men here wish it was like. But yeah, anyways, Gray, he's pretty cool. I don't know, like, you know, sometimes like when you have a character like Gray with a character like Natsu who are like always at each other's throat, sometimes it just gets so obnoxious, and it's just like, but I'm glad they don't rely on it, I think, too much.
No, I don't think they don't have like the reasoning behind it, like Sanji and Zoro do. This one seems more unnatural because they really have no reason to fight besides one's fire and the other's ice.
Yeah.
Uh, that's about it. Like, oh, I have to hate him because he's fire. Like, okay,
Yeah. But they seem to actually really like each other.
yeah,
So,
they got a friendly rivalry going. They kind of
yeah.
iron sharpens iron type of thing.
Yeah. So I just don't mean like I don't mind if they argue when they don't agree with how to deal with the situation, and that's okay. But sometimes it's just like, what are you arguing? Like,
It's
what is
it's
this?
it's wild that Gray is as strong as he is without being a dragon slayer like the other like elemental characters on there. Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, we get some stuff from Gray. Like we learned about his tutelage, and I'm sure you've already gone through that, haven't you? Like him, he meaning his
I know a little bit about him, the guy who grew up with them and their leader,
was it
their
Leon?
sensei, Ur, or whatever her name is, Ur,
Yeah,
I
she
think.
died. Yeah,
Yes, she died, though I think she might be here in season 4. But it's just got started. But um, yeah, so other main characters. Um,
Juvia.
Juvia's right here. She's
Yeah,
pretty cool. She's funny. Um, she's basically a simp for Gray. Um, but she's so powerful, but she doesn't even seem to like notice. She's just so effortlessly
yeah.
powerful.
She got that water power, which is scary.
Yeah. When she's made of water. So I want to know more about that because, like, how useful is being made of water? Um, super.
It seems like it's
Awesome.
pretty either be very cool or very easy to counteract.
Yeah.
Depends on
So
yeah,
far, it seemed very difficult, though I haven't seen her fight lightning. So,
yeah. Or you haven't seen her fight Laxus.
mm-mm.
Yeah, I don't think do they fight. I don't think they fight.
No, but
Uh,
I have gone through the Laxus arc where he wanted to try to take over Fairy Tale. And it's weird because he was so terrible and unlikable. And, every once in a while, go look up something about Fairy Tale. And like, he's at the top of a lot of people's lists of favorite characters. And I'm like, this dude's going to have a redemption arc. I know it.
he does. He becomes more likable as it goes on. At the beginning, yeah, he was very unlikable, but he
Yeah.
becomes cooler as you get through the series.
Yeah. Well, it would be hard to get more annoying.
It's possible. It's
It'd be real
possible.
hard.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, other favorite character, the Happy, he's fine. Um,
Charlie.
Charlie, whatever. Wendy, she's cute. She's an awesome addition. Gajil's pretty cool. I'm waiting to figure out. I think we're finally going to find out who he thought he was still working with in the background, because we know that he did have some nefarious intention in joining Fairy Tale, but we haven't seen what it is yet. And I think it's about to be revealed. I think it's going to be the same leader, Pharaoh, whatever, 90, or that was Sailor Moon, but there's Pharaoh something, Phantom,
Yeah, Phantom.
not Menace, but
Not,
Phantom something.
not true because that's a Hunter.
Yeah. But I think that his sensei still exists, and he wants to try to destroy Fairy Tale from the inside, and that's what Gajil's gonna do. But Gajil is gonna find out that he's already loyal to Fairy Tale, and he's not gonna turn on Fairy Tale anymore. That's my guess. I mean, obviously, we're gonna have to see that from Gajil at some point because they included him on like cover art and shit. So
Yeah. He's
not
one of the
often.
Dragon Slayers. He's one of the, he's
Yeah,
there.
he's a dragon slayer. They got 3 of them now. So
Or if you want to count Laxus, because he's kind of
no, because he's got it from a lacrima.
yeah, but he's an artificial one. He
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, an artificial dragon slayer. And I think we've seen one other of those too.
Yeah.
What else? There is
The master, the grandmaster, Elfman.
Makarov.
Yeah.
Oh,
Makarov.
I guess I could talk about more of the characters. Yeah. Makarov.
What about what's your favorite villain so far?
Let me.
Because I
My
know there's a
favorite
lot of stuff
villain.
going on with Jalal. He shows up every
Yeah,
now
I
and
know. I was already done with Jalal by the end of season 1. And
yeah.
then seeing him come back, but then not have his memory. And now he's been arrested. And they were like, but you're one of us. Now, I'm I don't know. I don't think I'm looking forward to more Jalal. It's bullshit.
So
Like,
that's the ship right there. The Urza Jalal ship is strong in the fairy tale community.
yeah, well, they must, like, the creators must love Jalal's face because they keep making it over and over again.
They do. There's a commenter on YouTube. You see him on a lot of videos. Some guy with a mustache, and it's pretty much Jalal with a mustache over him. Shout out to that guy because he's in every comment section. I see him in every comment section I've ever been in.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'll have to find him. See what else he's commenting on. Okay, so there's also Mira Jane Strauss. So the Mira Jane, that family, the Strauss family, they all like turn into beasts and stuff. She is dope. The she devil. Oh man, she's strong. She may be stronger. I think she's stronger than Urza.
It's debatable. That's been like they're supposed to be on even grounds. Like this, like this would be like
Yeah,
an original rivalry
so
between like
weird.
those two.
Yeah, and her story, like after Lysana died, and Lysana, I've just now started seeing what she can do and like changing different parts of her body to be like specific animals. Though it looks more like kink cosplay than it does like effective like animal takeover. Right,
I
Reese?
I really don't remember a lot about Lasana's powers because she is underused in this. Like they brought her back and didn't know what to do with her pretty much, and she's pretty much kind of underused
Yeah.
in the series, which happens. Like they introduce people and they just kind of what to do with them.
Yeah.
They got so many things going on. They're always introducing new characters. Um, So maybe I always feel like she would have been better off left dead and she used as like uh, a motivation for the brother and sister because they really didn't do anything with her in story wise, regardless. So
Yeah.
I feel like she'd probably been better off leaving her off dead.
You hear that?
So
You're a better off dad.
sorry to all you Lasana fans out there, all three of you.
um Oh, so we've met Gildarts, who's apparently the strongest member. And he is giving me such
Shanks.
huh?
Shanks. He looked like Shanks.
Yes, that was what I was gonna say. Like such Shanks, like red vibes, like only like he's a giant, but like mix Shanks with what was the first mate's name?
Ben
Raphael.
Beckman?
No. Huh?
Who's first mate?
And Gold.
Oh, Silver's Rayleigh.
Who?
Silver's Rayleigh.
Rayleigh, yeah. Yeah. And he's like, I felt like he was like a cross between Rayleigh and Shanks because he's huge too. And so I am in the arc right now where they're auditioning to be S rank. And
Tenro
Natsu,
Island.
huh?
Tenro Island, I think is that
Yeah,
the one?
Tenro. Yeah,
That's a good
yeah,
one.
yeah. So right now, what has happened on the island is um, they're being infiltrated by this other guild, and so they've put the S ranking thing on hold. What was I saying?
Oh, we're talking about Guild Arts.
Oh yeah, and so Guild Arts just showed Natsu his full power, like which I'm sure wasn't even full power, and Natsu just screaming in sheer terror at the mere sight and the like let looseness that Gildart has just shown him, and I'm just like, how fucking strong is this guy? Like Natsu screaming in literal terror. He's like an actual dragon. People see dragons when they see him.
Yeah,
Holy cow.
he's a real deal.
Yeah. And it leaves me questioning, is he stronger than Makarov?
Um, maybe.
I feel like he might be.
I think a lot of people are stronger than Makarov, but Makarov has like the seniority.
Yeah, and probably has a lot. Well, he's probably just not as strong as he used to be.
Yeah, he's crafty. He'll come through in the fight, but like his power compared to like some of the others, it's not as impressive.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Um Loki. So one of the celestial wizards or the celestial beings who now works for Lucy, though, was previously like trapped on Earth until Lucy helped get him sent back home so he wouldn't die. Um, it's so funny. So he like was set up to go on, like he had already told Gray he would be his partner if he does the S-class wizard exam. And like they asked the question, Lucy was like, does anybody remember if they were friends before? Because like I don't remember them being friends. Is that
I don't remember it either. I think it was just written for them to team up for this arc because he needed a team member.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, how did we get this? Yeah, okay. Which we do have some pretty fun team ups. So that's this, it has been pretty fun. And I guess this is where we get people shipping Evergreen and Elfman.
Yes.
Everyone is.
That was a very popular one too.
Huh?
That was a very popular ship too.
Is it?
Yeah. Which I can see it.
Yeah.
Especially
yeah, it makes sense. Like she's awful and he wouldn't mind.
Yeah, he doesn't mind awful people.
Yeah, he's fine. Okay, and then let me think. Fairy tale villains. I will say though, this has just been a really fun show in general, because like it's pretty much hitting all the big things that you want. It's doing good action. It's got good animation. It's got a nice fast pace. It's got lore. What?
The music.
The music is awesome. Honestly, like if it weren't for the like extreme, like over sexualizing, especially the female characters, because it is distracting. It's just it's distracting. Yeah. I don't know though. I'm loving the show so far.
It's a fine series.
It is missing something, like even though it is hitting on some of these bigger themes, like especially like this last season or the arc for Aedelas, over capitalism and like resource stealing and things like that. Like that's like the clearest message. But other than that, it is a lot of just like very fairy tale not grounded stuff. And I think that that's what some of their arcs are missing in comparison with shows like One Piece.
It doesn't have the same impact. Like it's like some of the arcs are just kind of forgettable. Like
Yeah.
I'm having struggle trying to remember like some of the bosses or the arcs. I remember General Item because that's super big. But you're right. It's a solid like B tier series, shonen series.
Yeah. Yeah. And it doesn't require too much thinking, you know. It's definitely one like if your brain is tired, you can still watch and enjoy this. You're not gonna, well, I don't know. Sometimes, you know, shows are really good and you got to go back and you don't want to miss anything, like especially like One Piece. Sometimes like it can seem like it's pretty just basic stuff going on, but it is jam packed full of information, and
I
that's
need to go
just,
back. I need to go be back and reread Skypiea and Thriller Bark because
I want to do, I've been wanting to do Skypiea again too.
there's a lot of stuff that's tying into Skypiea currently in Wano. So I do want to go back and reread that arc.
You think it needs to be read or could it be watched?
I think it can be watched.
Okay.
I'm going to read it because I have the books right here.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, so back to Fairy Tail real quick. I'll say that the dialogue is fun. Characters are distinct. I really, though I just moved into like only the first 2 seasons were dubbed, and now I'm watching sub, but I'm just waiting for Crunchyroll and Funimation to finish their thing so that I can watch them dubbed again. But it doesn't matter. That is not that big a deal. Fight scenes are great, super fun. Yeah.
Some things are forgettable, but it's fun though.
Yeah, it's I would say it's more fun than it is good, if that makes sense.
That does make sense. Makes perfect sense. I've had some shows and movies that are like, I had a good time watching it, but I wouldn't say it was good.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, so I guess that's all caught up on what we're watching. We've got to
Did you want to rank it?
Huh?
Did you want to rank it? I mean, I ranked it already, but that was just
my so up to now, I'll just give it I'll give it an 88 out of 100.
Yeah, so yeah, B tier. Solid B tier.
Yeah, almost a 90, maybe. I'll do that for now. Because there have been moments where I'm just like, oh, I don't want this, but
yeah, I'm sure if you like look back on it later on, you might re-rate it. Like I think 88 is actually pretty high for it.
Yeah, well, I feel like it's probably what she likes it. Maybe I am rating it a little high. I don't know. I'm just enjoying it.
Yeah, you're it's fresh in your mind. You're having a good time with it. Yeah. I've had more time to sit with it, and I've experienced more of it than you. I didn't finish it because I stopped enjoying it.
Right. But I do stand by still that it is more fun than it is good. Yeah. Like I wouldn't put it in the same place as like One Piece, for example.
No.
I would, so like thinking of the DC show, like to me, it's like Legends of Tomorrow. Like those were all fun.
Yeah.
Didn't feel as important somehow as everyone else, even though they were protecting time, whatever.
It
was a lot of fun episodes.
It was more about the adventure than the journey.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right, so 88. Is there anything else you want to say about it?
No, I'm good on Fairy Tale. Obviously, I'm going to be finishing that. I had looked at going back to finishing Sabrina parts 3 and 4, and it was late, and I didn't feel like reading, so I thought I would do that, and then they went to hell, and they're just trying to gross me out. So I was like, well, I'll read subtitles before I'm going to watch this at 1 o'clock in the morning.
So you're going to go back and finish watching Sabrina?
Yeah, I do still plan on doing that.
Okay.
And yeah, and then I've just got the other work stuff going on. Right. Yep, working on my projects, trying to figure it out. I don't know. What do you think? Should I or shouldn't I go through with getting my own radio show?
I say do it because it'd be good exposure.
Yeah.
Get your name out there, build an audience. Yeah. So,
and I do have content.
You do have content. You have tons of content.
Yeah, I do have tons of content that somebody's got to critique, but they can't if I don't cast it currently to the crowds congregating cordially. Period. Yeah. So how far are you into Reacher? How much more of that is left?
How many episodes are in this first arc? I want to say there's probably 8, and I started episode 7. So let's see. First season is 8 episodes. So I got 2 left.
Right on.
I didn't mention anything about this game right here, which is what I'm currently.
Oh yeah, tell us about it.
So it's Horizon Forbidden West, which is the sequel to the 2017 hit Horizon Zero Dawn. It takes place in a post-apocalyptic future, like very post-apocalyptic future, like 1,000 years in the future. Civilization is pretty much gone. We have these robot beasts over here that are like pretty much have run the land. We have Aloy here. Not Aloy, who is the main character of the series. She was born under mysterious circumstances. Like no one knew who her mother or father was. She just showed up in the middle of this temple one day, and they thought she was maybe accursed. So she grew up outside of like her village with the town outcast. And he raised her, and she taught her how to hunt and survive. So she becomes like this big and badass. She gets this, you see that thing on her ear? That's called a focus. She found it in this underground lab. It allows her to give her like this interface, an AR interface, so she can scan like enemies.
Like Google Glasses.
Like Google Glasses. She can scan her enemies, find the weak spots, find hidden areas, and detect like animals and other things in the area. So she is tasked with pretty much going to these nodes and gathering information, unlocking these things to defeat these beasts and to also restart Gaia so the human civilization won't get wiped out.
So Gaia is what in the show? Because Gaia is Earth.
Gaia is this program that they use to repopulate and restart the ecosystem. Okay. They've gone through a couple of cycles, and so Gaia pretty much, when Earth is destroyed, it will pretty much go dormant for a while, then restart itself and start repopulating the earth. But there's like corruption in the system, and she's got to fix this corruption. So, and she's the only one who can do it for reasons that are described or that are discussed in the game, which would be spoilerish.
Yeah, but it's awesome.
It is awesome. It's a very fun game. You get a bunch of cool. Well, you don't use guns. You use a bow and arrow. It's a third person action game. You have a spear. You have as your main weapon, as your melee weapon, and she uses bow and arrows and like slingshots and sets traps. So you have to have some strategy when fighting these beasts because they all have different weaknesses. So you have like acid arrows, freezing arrows, fire arrows, stuff like that.
Oh,
yeah.
Sometimes I wonder, should I learn how to use a slingshot better? And then I don't.
It's just a good silent weapon.
Yeah.
Doesn't take much ammo. All you need is rocks. There's always rocks there.
Yeah. Yeah, you can do it with anything, really. You could even do it with pennies if it could stay straight. I don't know.
You could use anything can be used as a slingshot. In a slingshot, not as a slingshot, in a slingshot. A knife?
But then shouldn't you just learn to throw knives?
Could you throw further than a slingshot can launch it?
I guess they do it differently. I guess they do it differently.
I'm 10% into the game. There's a lot going on. It's been fun so far. I'm still in the desert, pretty much fighting these beasts, and also some of the members of who decided who want the world to be destroyed because reasons. So it's an enjoyable game. I might have said 10% in, can't really properly grade it right now. But from what I've played so far, it's a very B+, A- game. There's some glitches that are involved, maybe because it's the PlayStation 4 version and it's meant for a PlayStation 5. But it's a good game.
Nice. I haven't played games in so long. I need to. I should play more games. But I just don't have the time. You know what? Sometimes in life, you are like doing the things, and then sometimes you're making the things.
Yeah. Sometimes I don't play games all the time. It's hard to schedule stuff now, like especially now since I'm being more physically active.
Yes, but I really want to do that VR headset and like cut some stuff.
The Saber game that I was talking about, Beat Saber.
Yes.
That's fun.
I've seen some people get like crazy good at those.
They are. I'm not. I am not that fast yet.
But you just got to keep doing it.
Practice. Start moving.
That's just like it.
Exactly like it.
Just like it. Yeah, well, so that puts us right at 90 minutes. I don't have anything really else.
I'm really nothing else to discuss. I had everything on my list. Like I say, WrestleMania was good last week, but that's really not much to discuss besides that. It was fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I've just been like mainlining Fairy Tale and then working on our other things. So yeah, well, then we'll just go ahead and call it for tonight. And coming up for me, I will, I'll still be doing Tuesday show on News What News on k4radio.org. That's QUE4.org for News What News. And that's Tuesdays from 4 to 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. I also am doing sometimes Bottoms of the Barrels from 5 to 7 p.m. CST on the same radio station. We are getting this going. This is our podcasting time. So our episodes will range, I guess, 1 to 2 hours, depending on what we're covering. But be on the lookout for our Infinity versus Infinity video. A lot of good work going into that one. And I think you're really going to like it. Yeah. And then keep an eye out for whether or not I do this radio station or this channel. Yeah. So I should be just getting cold feet, I think, a little bit. I don't know. Anyways, yeah, that's me, Rachel. What about you, Zach?
I don't really have anything going on. If you want to join me on my weight loss journey, I'm on Fitbit. You can find me on there, Zachary Bird. I'm in the weight loss community, 15 to 50 pounds. So hit me up if you want to lose weight with me. And that's really all we have to discuss about that.
Oh, I also forgot. I am the founder and artistic director of the Quarantine Queens Theater Company. And on June 1st, we have our show coming up. I'm sorry, on May 1st, we are doing our Just in Time, the Unkindest Cut show. This one is extra. This one's going to be really funny because it's like extra, like a little extra dabble of sexism on it, but it's now all women playing it. And there's something very profoundly funny about some of the things we're saying to each other. And it's a comedic noir. So I hope you definitely check us out. You can find us on Facebook for that. And then we also, you don't have to watch it on Facebook. You can just get in touch with us through that. And we will also be streaming through YouTube on an unlisted channel. Let me know if you're interested in that. One of our favorite repeating characters. And
Great. Yeah. Thank you. And like, comment, subscribe, and have